So, if you could please turn on the cameras, what do you understand by market segmentation? Let's have some theory today.
Dividing the total market into profitable groups, subgroups.
And why would we do that?
Profitability. Generally, brands target the most profitable segments.
Okay, but what is the logic and reasoning behind doing the segmentation? Why
So
would you?
Different
separate,
segments.
Homogeneous customers.
homogeneous, and that way we can implement a limited number of strategies to cater to the whole market rather than each individual person having to target each individual person separately. So that's how. So homogeneity is the main thing because of which we will be able to cater to different, to all the market by a limited number of strategies.
Okay, other inputs, please. I think Sujindev had something to say.
Yeah, different segments can have different types of needs, and if we are getting into a business, we can target what segment we want to go for, and we prepare our product, the marketing strategy accordingly.
Okay, any other inputs? I think between both of you, yeah. Yeah.
So in market segment.
Yeah, Amitabh, go ahead, please.
So in market segmentation, what we do is we conduct a survey first, right? And suppose we understand the market and understand the demands of the people, then we club the people into different groups and identify the common goals of certain group of people. And main purpose to group the people and find the needs of that group so that we understand divide the market into certain groups and can able to serve those certain groups in a certain way, which is not same as the group from the other groups we serve in a different way.
Okay, yeah, I think between you sort of really summarized it really well. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So segmentation we are talking about is to identify. Okay. So the basic argument here is that all customers are not the same. So customers are different. They differ because of the age, because of demographics, basically. Okay, gender, age, income. They differ because of their interests, culture, language, religion, subculture. Everything contributes into making
socioeconomic status.
Socioeconomics, absolutely. So all this actually contribute to sort of him having a different taste or preference or ability to purchase, purchasing power. All of this varies because the customer is not one monolithic unit. So people are different, and therefore when the marketeer recognizes this, you can effectively divide your your customer base into neat compartments or groups. And this neat compartmentalization allows the marketer or the producer or the service giver to design or create different products to satisfy the requirements of these very different unique groups that you've identified.
Okay. One example is Samsung. Sir. Samsung is selling phones from the top of the line to the bottom of the line, and they are segmenting. Means they are studying the market and understanding what price segment they can target each and every customer category into, and then they
not just the telephone market, not just the mobile phone market. There are, let's say, so many other.
It came to my mind, sir.
Okay, yes. I mean, it's a bit, except Apple, which is keeping that niche sort of, the innovation niche, the skimming strategy they use, high pricing and high quality. But everybody else has got, most other companies would have product across this full range. Cars, bikes, most of the product. You will differentiate one way or the other. Even detergents, as something as simple as detergents. Hindustan Unilever has got something selling for, like, say, 10 rupees a sachet, and something
also for a kilogram or maybe more.
Yeah, and exactly, and something they sell for 500 per kilogram or 500 per 250 grams or whatever. They talk about Ariel and Surf and Tide, and all these variants basically used to cater to that. It's all more or less the same product, but packaged differently, and gives the customer the impression that they're getting value out of it. Of course, that is a separate marketing strategy. We'll talk about that. I'm not sure if you're okay, but anyway, yeah. So let's move ahead with the market segmentation bit. So all markets are heterogeneous. So the customer is not the same, and thus a non-segmented strategy is inevitably suboptimal. So if you have only one product for all your customers, you're very likely to lose out on a lot of your customers. The customers might just not buy from you. So you have to understand that your market is not homogeneous, and therefore you need to devise different products for different customers. Okay. So again, as I think a number of you said, market segmentation offers potential greater profitability through increased efficiency and customer satisfaction. So identify one group of people. There are customers who are more price sensitive, others less so. There are customers who are more quality conscious, others less so. There are customers who are more time conscious, who want to save time, others less so, and so on and so. Different ways in which you can look at the benefits of, the preferences of customers. Okay. So again, these are the things that you are mentioning. Improve strategic allocation of marketing resources, identifies opportunities for new product development, helps in design marketing products, marketing programs that are most effective for reaching homogeneous groups. Okay, so these are all things which you have given. Now, this is just one illustration. I think Amitabh was giving the example of the mobile phone. This is an example. This is an illustration of strategy used by Toyota. So the price level and the perceived quality. On the bottom left, you have the entry level cars priced lower, and on the top right, you have the more premium expensive cars which have a higher perceived quality. So price level and perceived quality. So each of these cars are marketed accordingly. I mean, you just have a certain customer segment in mind, and this is aggressively pitched to them, and this will satisfy their needs also. Essentially, if you think about it, what is the purpose of a car? Why do we need a car? What does a car do for us?
So to travel from point A to point B.
Yeah. So to take you from point A to point B. All right. So if that was the reason, why would you need 11 different variants?
In order to target different customers, sir.
Yeah, but what is the, let's say, the other variant? I mean, so that basically says, yeah, if you want to target.
Like, sir, I can give you an example of an airplane, international airplane, where there are tickets for economy class, there are tickets for premium economy class, there are tickets for business class, and there are also tickets for first class. So, depending on the group of certain people or the socioeconomic status or the person chooses a different class, right? So, based on this, means higher the socioeconomic status of a person, the person chooses a class based on how the person chooses to travel. It depends on the mindset, and it depends on the image of the person, and it depends on the socioeconomic status of the person, I guess.
Absolutely right. So all I was trying to say is, so the purpose of a car is not strictly to take you from point A to point B. It is also to show or project a certain social status, because people associate prestige or it's not just that you want to go from point A to point B. You want to go in style, and you want to go in a manner in which others also take notice of your arrival or your presence or whatever. Okay, so this is what cars use. Largely, there wouldn't be substantially much difference in what is packaged. But however, you say that that's the reason. If you look at say motorcycles sell. They don't say, not all the motorcycles sell by saying the 100 kilometer per liter or 85 kilometer per liter. No, they don't talk about it. They only talk about the experience of riding a bike or riding a motorcycle. They hardly speak about anything else. They just talk about freedom and being and achievement and some abstract thing. They don't say that this is the cheapest vehicle available and this offers so much mileage and this lasts so long and nothing. They don't talk about anything. Just talk about reaching.
They don't sell the technical aspects of the motorcycle.
Absolutely, they don't mention it.
Yes.
Yeah, they're selling something like a dream or an aspiration, freedom.
Something vague. They're selling something vague.
or good life and all of that. And so when you try to sell these abstract things, it is always easy to extract a higher premium from the customer. Okay, so yes, so this is very simply the adjacent segmentation strategy used by Toyota. Not just Toyota, everybody. Maruti uses this, Hyundai uses it. You name the car, they use this. Okay, everybody has this. So and again, what are the basis of these? There are four known basis of customer segmentation. These are geographic, which is the region or city, the size of the city, density, climate, demographic, which is age, gender, family size, and life cycle. What is family size and life cycle? Could anyone pitch in?
So whether single or married, if married, then with children, without children, those
Okay.
will come for family size. And life cycle would be as per the age where the potential customer is in terms of the needs that it has. For example, if it's a single person, the needs would be completely different from a married person, and after children also again the needs will change.
Okay, fine. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Essentially, at what age and stage in life you are, and depending on that, your requirements, products that you would require would actually vary. So, primarily based on whether the person is single or married, also based on whether he has kids. If so, how many? If there are 3 kids, your requirement certainly would be different from somebody who's got single kid or no kid, and all those kinds of concepts. Okay, fine. Um, Race, occupation, incomes are self-explanatory. Okay, psychographic, lifestyle or personality. Anything about lifestyle or personality? Psychographics. Someone would like to talk about that?
Lifestyle is again, I can take an example of one of the cigarette companies in US who basically marketed the product as if it's a lifestyle in I think it was in 1970s.
He's
And
talking
that
on
abruptly changed
He's talking on Marlboro.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That
Yeah.
changed the profitability of the company abruptly, and it was again profitable.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant example. Absolutely. So people have needs above roti kapda and makan. I mean, above your basic requirements of food and clothing and shelter. So there are opportunities to sell more and more products by talking about abstract things, about esteem, about lifestyle, about quality of life, and all of those kinds of things, right? So people are willing to pay, and also, I mean, other things like whether you're outdoorsy person, are you into trucking, are you into biking, are you into sailing? So all of these things also come under those aspects of psychographics. Then of course behavioral and benefits. We will look at each of these segments a little bit of detail, but I hope you already understand this. Okay, so region is basically which part of the country you're from. So clearly somebody who's in North India would have a different requirement from somebody from South India. Somebody from Northeast would of course be having different requirements from somebody from West, and so on and so forth. Even the based on whether you're Tamil speaking or Gujarati speaking or Bengali speaking, there could be difference in requirements. You could actually make a geographic segmentation based on language. City and metro, okay, of course, depending upon the number of people who live in that particular city, density, urban, metro, urban, suburban, all right. Climate, of course, southern part of the country is largely tropical. Slightly north of Maharashtra, it becomes subtropical, and so on and so forth. Then we have the age breakdown, gender, family size, family's life cycle, which was explained some time back, and then the income, of course. So these are demographic segmentation. Then you have based on occupation, that is what is it that you do for a career, how is that you make money. So that is another breakdown. Then you have level of education, religion, race, nationality, all of this. So these are all valuable information for the marketeer. Then you have psychographic segmentation, which is lifestyle, activities that you pursue in your free time, your other interests and your hobbies that you have, personality, whether you're a talkative person, whether you're an authoritarian person, whether you're an ambitious person, you're a laid back person, and all those things which also affect your purchase behavior. Values, sense of belonging, excitement, self-fulfillment, warm relationships with others, security, whether you are a fun-loving person, whether you're outdoorsy, whether you would like to go out and spend money on the weekends, or you are more of a introvert who would like to curl with a book, or so all those things also mean a lot to the marketeer. Now again, behavioral segmentation would be regular, special occasion of usage, benefits, all these kinds of, so different ways in which you can think about segmenting and dividing the customer base that you have. Now, loyalty status, readiness stage. Okay, so many other ways. Now, ultimately, then we come to what is a cluster. Now, we spoke about, all of you really well understand what is segmentation. Now, we need to go to the next stage. We need to understand what a cluster is. Possibly, what is a cluster?
So it is the analysis of most profitable segments.
Okay.
Learning how to the convergence of the companies is just generally done to provide a convergence to the companies' resources, what they can extend, and equal matching and mapping to what customers are valuable to them. So the most profitable clusters are taken.
Okay. Other inputs about cluster, please.
Sir,
I
a
think
group
the way
of
of combination of these variables, sir.
I think so many are talking together. Okay, Puneet, Deepak, Ravi, all are trying to speak simultaneously. Okay, let's Ravi speak first, please. Ravi.
Sir, I was trying to say the combination of these variables and their breakdowns into favorable groups in which we can classify our customers in order to make maximum profits.
Okay, yes, over to Puneet.
So grouping the customers or the data in a way that the members in one cluster are more similar and reasonably different from the members in the other data set.
Wow, okay, I couldn't have put it better. Yes, Deepak.
Sir, similar to what Puneet just said. I mean, basically putting things or people in a group that has similar characteristics, which are different, which can be distinguished from the other group's characteristics.
Right. Okay. So fine. So
One question, sir. Is
Yeah,
there any
Mr.
difference between grouping and clustering?
This is what Puneet rightly said. See, now we have all this. I've shown you perhaps 75 different criteria. If you look at each of this, okay, gender, interest, this, that, and everything, income and all of that. Now you would notice, or we would try to find some characteristics which are common to people,
Common between
based on
two
which
groups.
one group of people who we could sort of identify to be different from another group of people. Right? And
But
these,
sir, if you take a lot of criteria, suppose a lot of criteria into a group, what happens is we get two sets, set A, set B. Now there can be certain criteria which are common between set A and set B. There can be, and some criteria which are not common between set A and set B.
true, there would be overlapping elements also. So that is where we need to make our judgment based on that. Okay, say it is something like so. Okay, just to give you this example, now pizza or a restaurant. So restaurant could be having different kinds of offerings. One is for the person who comes with a family with 7 members. So they would spend typically 2 hours, 2.5 hours talking, enjoying, spending time, come with kids. So you need to do something to keep the kids engaged, family and all of that. A young couple who comes, their requirements is different. They would actually spend perhaps buying different kinds of things from what a family would buy. A family is likely to buy larger portions of everything, or likely to have larger order of various things and all of that. And there is of course people who would just walk in and be satisfied with the takeaway. I mean, they just something like convenience, or they don't want to cook at home, so they just come, pick up something and go and all of that. So each of these things, their requirement is different, but everybody's ordering food, right? And it's made in the same kitchen. So how do you cater to the requirements of all these different things? So if you look at the pattern of this, you will be able to find that some group of people have some characteristics, other group of people have got other characteristics, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the guy of people who come for, let's say, a take-home order, very likely they would be single. They don't want to spend time waiting and sitting there and ordering food and all. They're just interested in the food. But there are others who come for the ambience. They're not coming for strictly for the food, but they want to come, spend some quality time in the restaurant, interact with people or interact with family members or whoever. or somebody who's out on a date, perhaps, would order a different set of things from typically what a family with children and more children and whatever. I mean, I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. So if you just observe this, I mean, at what age they are, what is their age, what is their income, and what is the life cycle, family life cycle they are in. So the restaurant can reasonably think about making 3 or 4 different clusters of their possible customers, and then make offerings for them and be ready with those. Okay. Yes, Amitabh, I'm not sure if I've answered your question or I've said something else different from what you were trying to ask.
It's okay, sir. My question was, suppose we divide the customers among groups. Now, what happens is we can find some common characteristics which the two groups share. In that case, sir, how do we do the clustering, sir?
It is not black and white. Okay. In subsequent slides, you will see what. Okay, fine. I get your point. Okay, so you will not find mathematically clean demarcation. You will always find overlapping. We will come to that. We'll see how we can solve that. Okay. Stay with me. Fine. All right. So as has been answered, cluster is nothing but a collection of data objects similar, related to one another within the same group, as Puneet explained beautifully. At the same time, they're dissimilar or unrelated to objects in the other groups. They're very different from the other groups, but in some ways they are similar to constituents of the same group, of the groups that is within that. So therefore, you use the technique of cluster analysis. So our job is to find similarities between data according to the characteristic found in the data, and grouping data together into different clusters. And we'll see how this can be done. Okay? Now, there are several techniques used. We are going to be using what is called as the k-means method. And this is what Amitabh was talking about. Ideally, your cluster should look like this. You should be able to find neat classifications. But in reality, you will find your data to be like this. And therefore, it's very difficult to demarcate. You don't know whether there are 2 clusters here, 3 clusters, or 4. So you will have to take a sort of, hardline mathematical route to establish that. Okay, we'll see how that is done again. Now, I'll speak specifically about k-means clustering. So, anybody familiar with k-means clustering? Has okay, I should ask this.
Distance to the data.
Yes, please. Yeah, Abhinash. Yes, please.
So minimizing the distance between the data points.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Any other inputs? Abhinash said you're minimizing data distance between data points. Any other inputs on k-means clustering? Has this been taken in any of the previous sessions? You did tell me it was taken, I suppose, right? Okay. Everybody, there's a very sort of emphatic yes.
It was in data mining. So.
Was it just done mathematically? You just ran some formula, and then you got an output, and you said this is a cluster. Or was that it? I mean, just help me, or did you go through first principles?
Sir, it's a mix. I mean, started with first principle, but some mathematical treatment was also there. So.
Okay. It was strictly okay. Fine. All right. So what Abhinash said is absolutely right. Basically, you try to minimize distances between. Let's say, if you take one cluster, you will find the distances within that cluster would be lesser than the distance of the adjacent cluster. Okay. Now let me just explain that with the help of this slide. So you have k-means cluster. So you basically partition objects randomly first into k. So suppose we have 2. Yeah, sorry about the brief interruption. Yeah. So basically, k-means clustering means you would divide your data into 2 non-empty, or say if it's 2 clusters, 2 non-empty or k non-empty subsets. Okay, so that assignment is random. Then you initially look for seed points, or you think about random points within the data and assign them to be mean points, and try to calculate the distance from those points to every other data point in the entire set. Okay. Now, assign each object to the cluster with the nearest seed point. And go back to step 2 when the assignment does not change. Essentially, it looks more complicated when I explain it this way, but I'll try to give
an example, sir.
With an example. Okay, fine. I'll try to help you with an example. Fine. Let us just look at this. Okay. So initially, if you look at the first square here, so this is your data point. And I want to divide this data point into two clusters. Okay. So what I do is initially I randomly divide them into two clusters. Okay. So I have the dots and I have the crosses. So I have randomly assigned them into dots and crosses. The ones below I have put as dots, the ones above as crosses. Now I look at the what is called as a centroid point. So centroid point is actually the which is shown in blue here, which is actually the point which is somewhere equidistant from all the dots here. And similarly, the black dot here is actually equidistant from all the crosses here, which are shown in red. Okay. Now, based on this, now again you see what is the distance of each of these objects from this blue dot and black dot.
Sir, how to find the centroid, sir? You do an average of this.
Let me do one thing. Let's do with the illustrative. Let's switch to Excel. I mean, if I try doing this here, you might actually have more doubts. You might end up having more questions. Fine. Let's switch the question then. Okay. I'll demonstrate K means clustering with a question. Okay. Please open the relevant file, which is there in the drive. Okay, I hope the screen is visible. It is talking about San Francisco tech companies. The average monthly spending of 6 technology companies based in San Francisco in millions of dollars are given in the table below. Company 1 spends $5.1 million on technology, 3.5 on employee welfare, 1.4 on research, $0.2 million monthly on social responsibility. So similarly, the figures for 5 other companies, companies 1 through 6 is given here in the table. And we need to identify, based on the data provided, divide the 6 companies into 2 clusters. Okay, so this is what we are required to do. 6 companies, and they spend different amounts monthly on different things. We need to understand how to divide these 6 companies into 2 clusters. Okay, we would use the K-means method, and let's try to look at it from first principle. There is also an Excel sheet by this name. Please open that also.